Welcome, Web Universe, to another exciting episode of
Talking Promos.
I'm AJ the Saint.
Joe the Icon here.
And today we're going to break down Raw, and it starts off with Stephanie McMahon talking how she gave Mick Foley the week off.
Yeah, why'd you give him the week off? I'm tired of seeing Stephanie McMahon and not the general manager on Raw. I mean, the whole point was to bring Mick Foley because people want to see Mick Foley because he's not a wrestler. But yet we get Stephanie McMahon, and I get McMahon is supposed to be the villain. But I'd rather see Mick Foley because it's the same thing over and over again. He does something, she gets mad. It's, you know,
well, I just feel that right after the SmackDown pay-per-view, they had to have Stephanie on to show a little boost the brand.
But that's why you have Mick Foley. So then, after the whole McMahon comes out and says she has the power, Mick Foley doesn't have the power, Roman comes out and challenges her, and then she reacts by putting her in a handicap match, which I thought we saw last week with the same. Didn't we see that?
Well, you've seen the similar things over and over again, where Roman gets put into these situations where you think he isn't going to be able to succeed, and yet he somehow comes out on top.
And he gets his ass kicked every single time. It's like, you want to get Roman over, stop making him lose. Just stop making him lose. You want to get him over, stop making him lose. And, of course, again,
I think we're a little biased here, but anyways.
The big dog.
Big dog.
The big dog is in the house.
So, Roman Reigns wins by DQ, and then it moves on to a match, a sleeper match that nobody wants to see. And a very long segment by the New Day.
I like the New Day, but
they're a great team.
I feel like they're just putting him in there just to either kill time.
They're just killing time.
I was happy that we got to see Bo Dallas finally after they kind of hyped him up and then they took him away.
Well, we know what now. We know why.
Why?
Because Bo Dallas is coming out in the Marine 5.
That's right. Segue.
Cheap plug for the movie. But I hope it's a good movie.
We'll segue to the Marine 5 real quick. I mean, there's a Marine 5. I saw the Marine 1, and then you had Ted DiBiase in Marine 2, and I think The Miz has made
I think The Miz has the last three
movies, and I haven't seen any of them.
By the previews, it looks pretty good because it's jam-packed with other wrestlers.
If you guys have seen The Miz, the Marine 5. Let me know, because I haven't seen any of it.
It hasn't come out yet, so how can they...
Fine, have you seen the Marine 3 and 4? Let me know if it's worth watching.
Well, they gotta be doing something right if they're all coming out.
Segueing back to Raw. I feel like the 205 actually has, more interesting characters right now than the actual Raw. Because in Raw, we're seeing, 3 storylines play out every single night. And I get it, those are the big story arcs, but then you have other people you could be boosting up instead of having a New Day segment that lasts 30 minutes. And it's
maybe if the Cruiserweight one would have been 30 minutes, that would have been better. It shows Soma Joe. And Soma Joe goes into his interview with Michael Cole. Michael Cole, great interviewer.
That was actually a really good segment.
He asked the great questions. I like Soma Joe, how he gets a little heated with Michael Cole, asking, is this my interview or is this a Triple H interview? Because Michael Cole just keeps trying to link those two guys together, which it looks like they're working together, but I feel Michael Cole's just trying to get underneath.
Well, you're Samoa Joe, right? I mean, shouldn't Samoa Joe not be afraid of Triple H? It almost looked to me in the
he's not afraid
of Triple interview H. That he was kind of kissing Triple H's ass.
They're using Triple H to introduce Samoa Joe, and everyone knows who Samoa Joe is.
He doesn't need an introduction.
He doesn't need an introduction. He doesn't need to be allied with Triple H. It was cool for him to say, "Oh yeah, Triple H. Triple H was the only one who came and discovered me and pulled me into WWE."
Which is kind of true, But you don't
need to use that as a storyline.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You need to use that.
If anything, he could have said, "I could take Triple H out. Triple H knows how lethal I am." This is why he brought me.
So right after that, it's Sami Zayn versus Rusev, and I really hate how they just made Rusev another mid-card guy again. He's not doing anything. He's not fighting for a title. He doesn't have a storyline. He has no direction.
It doesn't.
And they're using him and his wife for the social medias and for backstage stuff. But he doesn't have a storyline.
I know Rusev. You know what? Why didn't they put Rusev versus the New Day, and then maybe you had Bo Dallas come out and be hey, I'm gonna partner up with you.
Or they could have had 2 of the New Day members continue tag team, and then use Big E Langston.
That's true.
Big E versus the Rusev.
No,
2 big guys.
So Rusev loses to Sami Zayn, which, don't get me wrong, Sami Zayn is an incredible character on the Raw program. I mean, he's pretty good. You know, I like Sami Zayn, but then you have him feuding now with Samoa Joe.
Well, you see Samoa Joe.
I mean, he does mention him, yeah. But did everyone just forget about Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe on NXT, where they had that one encounter, and then they never ever visited again, even though they were both.
They're gonna put that in a box and save it for later.
That would have been the perfect time. I know that right now everything's just screwed up right now. But anyways, cool segment. So now I bet we're probably gonna see at Fastlane it's probably gonna be Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe, and you guys can quote me on that because I'm almost 99.9% sure that's gonna be a match.
But the big Raw if it had 2 good things, it was Kevin Owens turning on his best friend Chris Jericho.
I mean, we all kind of saw it coming
after the Friends Appreciation Night.
We all saw it coming, but I'm kind of disappointed that they did it now because we have Goldberg versus Kevin Owens. All right, this is us booking. We all know that Goldberg is not going to lose to Kevin Owens.
The only way, this is jumping ahead. The only way I see Kevin Owens beating the only way I see Goldberg losing is if Kevin Owens DQs himself. Somehow Jericho comes out and attacks Kevin Owens now that they're not friends anymore, unless this is another setup of Jericho and Kevin Owens fighting. But, I mean, that could be Jericho took some ugly bumps there.
That could be a curveball, but I just have we all know that Goldberg is not going to lose to Kevin Owens because that kills his character. Unless Brock Lesnar comes out and screws Goldberg, but I could see WWE doing Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the title because those are the 2 big titans that they have, and that would make for the main event.
And as we've learned, Brock Lesnar has told everyone that he is retiring from UFC. So that little fantasy, that little prediction that you're thinking, it could happen.
Yeah, it is going to happen.
It could happen because Brock Lesnar would obviously be open to more wrestling dates. He'd book himself longer.
Hopefully, because it's kind of annoying when they build a whole pay-per-view around these people you don't even see them.
Yeah.
I don't need to see them fighting, but they should at least be at Raw.
They got to continue the storyline.
And if I don't see the champion, say Goldberg wins, if he is not at every single Raw, up to WrestleMania,
if he pulls a Rock 2013,
garbage.
That's crap.
It is.
Crap.
Because you need a fighting champion.
Even Triple H, when he beat Roman Reigns, was on Raw. He wasn't wrestling, but he was at least on Raw to do a promo
or some encounter backstage, something, right?
And now the real big thing of Raw was the women's title match at the end, where you had Charlotte versus Bayley. And yes, you're about to say we've seen it 1,000 times, but it was women's main event for the title match.
And I liked it. One of my biggest things that I could say for WWE that they definitely did different was there wasn't that many commercial breaks, and they actually gave that match like 30 minutes. I think it was it was almost a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing is what's wrong with having pay-per-view type matches on Monday
and Tuesday.
Or on a SmackDown. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want your views to go up, that's how you get people hyped up for a pay-per-view. Or even when there's time between a pay-per-view is you have these type of matches so you want to tune in every single week instead of I don't really need to see this because I already know that on WrestleMania or Fastlane or the next pay-per-view these people are fighting. This is why I like that they did this because there really hasn't been any hype. For all you know, they could have pulled another we're going to fight, there's going to be a DQ, and they're going to settle that at a pay-per-view, right?
It could have happened. Usually, sometimes that happens.
But this time, it was an amazing match. My
only critique of this was I don't think they needed Sasha Banks coming out, and they didn't need Dana Brooke. They did not need those 2 women to come out and put their little 2 cents in the match. Bailey and
It's
Charlotte were
true.
having a great match.
They were, but
prior.
Think of like pay-per-view status. Pay-per-view, this probably would have happened. You would have had Dana Brooke come out and try to screw, you know, the competitor in this case, which was Bailey. But I did not see Sasha Banks coming out. I did not see that at all coming out.
Another reason why I didn't want to see them is Sasha Banks is injured. Why are you going to risk her to tweak a knee, have it get re-injured? We saw that with Seth Rollins. He came out and he retweaked his knee. Why do you want to see Sasha Banks come out?
This is wrestling and everything must go on. Injury or not, the show must go on.
It was not necessary. Those two girls, they put on a hell of a show.
They did.
And you saw Bailey win the title, which is a little extra special for us because she's from our hometown.
That's true.
So we applaud her.
Bailey.
Good job.
Hugs for everyone.
Hugs for everyone.
In the web universe. It was definitely a Raw to check out. I think for me, I'd probably give it, out of 5, I think it was definitely a 4.
I'm giving it a 4 too. It was good, and it's a good Raw, and there's still a lot of time before WrestleMania.
I mean, there's one match that we forgot to talk about, but I'll just bring it up quickly. Was Braun Strowman versus Mark Henry. That was a really good match, even though it was kind of short. But I mean, that was pretty good. So overall, like I said, I'm giving it a 4. The minors was seeing Stephanie.
I didn't bring it up because we knew Braun Strowman was going to win. We knew Mark Henry. Mark Henry's like the Big Show. He puts everyone over now.
True, but I mean, it was actually a match. It wasn't a squash match, and that's what I liked. It was actually back and forth.
I would have preferred a Braun Strowman promo. It showed him get more heat against Roman Reigns.
I mean, Roman Reigns did come out,
but the match was unnecessary. If they would have done a Braun Strowman promo, it would have showed off his
It's
mic
just to
skills.
show off that Braun is going to face Roman.